So, hi everyone, welcome to the I-535 discussion session. Show you some updates on our Open Index. So in the Open Index, we update the schedule tab in it. And in this schedule tab, you can find the discussion Zoom link. So we will use these two kind of Zoom link for the entire semester. So if you miss any information about the Zoom link, something, you can go there and just click this link. Also, we update Google Calendar in the schedule. You can go there to check some information like office hour, homework due date, something like that. So make sure you won't miss any information. Also, let's go back to our course info here. So we start to enroll students into our course allocation of JetStream. So we are going to ask you to fill out the form to submit your XSED username. So the Google form could be found at this place. So go to the course info, go to the unit 3. You can find here. This is a new update here. So you can go to this, click this link, and you log in, use your IU email, and you fill out this form. Submit it, and we will process your application in this week and hope you can get the allocation for JetStream on next class. So make sure you create a XSED account and you submit this Google form.
So can I interrupt just a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
So I've got a bit of an echo here. So can you just for a moment?
Okay.
Okay. Are you muted, you?
No.
Why don't you mute? Yeah, I've got a bad echo here.
Oh.
Nope. Okay. Nope, I still have a bad echo.
Oh, okay.
There's a little mute mic on the lower left-hand corner of the window. You're just used to talking all the time.
Okay. So can I continue?
Pardon?
Okay, can I continue to discuss about this?
No, you need to mute your mic so I can say something.
Okay, I'm mute.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Okay. So just a really quick point on Exceed. In years past in this course, we did things like have people install VirtualBox and then we had them download a virtual machine. That approach is good for people who have high-powered machines at their office or at their house, but it's not good for people who don't. So what we're doing this year is we're having everybody create an account on Exceed, and Exceed is a National Science Foundation funded high performance, or actually it's a high throughput computer. It's a very highly distributed computer where you will get a virtual machine that's running on the Exceed. It's a national framework that you can use for purposes of the class. You'll then upload your data set to it. It'll have MongoDB on it. So this was a way of allowing you to run big jobs and do things that on hosted resources, basically cloud resources that do not rely on your laptop. So that is the intention with it. It as a platform, it's a kind of a leading edge platform. So as a side benefit, you get to understand what computational research is using today. So there's a bit of a benefit there also. So we need everyone to create an Exceed account, give us that account, and we add it all to an allocation. So we've been granted a CPU allocation a special allocation by the Exceed team for purposes of this course. So that's why we need this information from you. So do create that account quickly and get that information to us. So, okay, you go ahead. I'm turning it over to you.
Okay, so make sure you create your Exceed account and submit the form, and we will give you that allocation, and you can start to learn how to use JetStream and you can start how to maybe do the project on the unit 6. So let's go to our discussion. So last discussion session, we talked about the MongoDB schema. So this is a sample MongoDB schema for our documents. So make sure there are several special symbols here, braces, brackets, colon, comma there. So make sure you know how to use this. So here, so for the braces, it shows an object or a value or a document or a collections of key value pairs. So for the braces, we just use it to store the key value pairs. That's what we want to make sure the human could understand what we want going to insert. So for the brackets, so it's a list of values. So the values has a different kind of, type. It could be an object, could be some just a value, and you should mention that we use the common to split list or the key value pairs. So every time you're going to use the object and you are going to use the brace and the brackets, you will just use the command to split the different values in different value or different key value pairs in it. And the column is going to help you to pair key and values in the document. So every time you are going to manage the document in MongoDB or you are going to insert document in MongoDB, you should know how to design this, how to use these symbols in the document. So this discussion, we are going to talk about how to insert or how to use that MongoDB. So first, if you want to try to learn how to use MongoDB, you have to install MongoDB in your computer. So this is a link. You can go to this place and install on your system. So or you can test on just you next week. So we want you to create your account and submit your username as soon as you can. So we will give you that allocation. So here. So how to use MongoDB? So the best way is using MongoShare. So MongoShare is an interactive JavaScript interface to MongoDB. It works like the command line in your computer. So the MongoShare is the best way to access the MongoDB. Still, we could use other language like Java, Python to access the MongoDB. So we use this kind of programming language to do some complicated analysis on it. And for the MongoShare, we just do very simple, just do some simple operations on it, like a query, like insert, like create something. So here, if you want to do some personal personal test about the MongoDB and you don't want to insert it on your computer, you can go to this place. That's the online MongoDB terminal and it's free to use that. You should know when you close the browser of that application, the data in that application will be removed. So that's the temporary application for you to test the MongoDB, to learn MongoDB. So here, this is a sample, this is a screenshot of the Mongo terminal online. That's a free application. So you can do anything on this application. So here, so first, when you're using the MongoDB, you want to create a database. So in our last discussion, we said there are three layers in the MongoDB. The first layer is the database. That's the largest one. And in the database, we are going to create the collections. And in collections, we are going to insert the basic level, the document. So here, anyway, if you want to use MongoDB or if you want to insert any document, you first have to create a database. So this command, use database name, is going to create a database, your database in the MongoDB. So here, right now, if we just type in the command in the terminal and use MyDB, so the MongoDB will show you that it is switched to a database MyDB. It means the MyDB database is already created in the MongoDB database list. So you just type in DB to make sure your database is already there. So that's one thing. So if you create a database already in previous steps, so and you still want to recreate it again, it's impossible because the the database name is unique, and still the database is unique. You cannot create a duplicate. You cannot create a duplicate, database in the MongoDB. So if you use a database name again, it will go to the existing database, and you just go there to some, work. So when you check the database list, just follow this command, show DBs. So show DBs will show a list of database in your MongoDB. So if you type in here, show DBs, it will show you the locals because we haven't created any. So if you first you just install the MongoDB in your computer and you type in the show DBs, there is no, database there, just a local. So when you type in use MyDB, so it will going to create a database MyDB, and you type in DB here, it will show you right now you selected the MyDB database in your MongoDB. You should know if you haven't create a collection or haven't insert a document into the database, it means this database is empty, and you are going to if you want to show this, show the list of database, it won't, the empty database cannot be shown in the database list because MongoDB think that the empty database is just empty. It has nothing to show to the users. So make sure if you create a database, but without create any collections or insert any documents, the database won't be read into the database. So make sure if you want to, sometimes you create a database in your MongoDB and want to check did I create that again and use this show command, but it doesn't work. It means you have to insert something into the database and make sure the MongoDB can recognize that the database has some information, so that you can keep working on the MongoDB. So when we create a database, your database in the MongoDB, you have to create a collection to make sure the database is kept in the MongoDB database. So here, this command db.createCollection could help you to create a collection in the database. So here, there are two parameters in the create collection method. One is the name and one is the option. So name is the name of the collection to be created. So it means you have to define the name for this collection. And the option is a document and used to specify configure of the collection. So it's a little bit complicated for the user to figure out this part. So we won't discuss about this part in this discussion, and we will show you in our future samples here. So let's go to some details about the create method. So here, right now we use MyDB database, and we want to create a collection in the MyDB database. We just type in this command, db.createCollection, and put your collection name in this place. When the MongoDB shows OK in the screen, it means the collection is created in the document in the database. And if we want to check the created collections, you just type in this command, show collections. It works as show DBs. So just show the DB list and show the collection list here. So here we create a collection here in our MyDB database, and we want to show how many collections do we have in that database. So we just type in this command line, show collections. Then this MongoDB will show a list of collection in it. So when you done this, you create a collection create a collection in the MyDB database. It means you already insert something, or you already create something in MyDB. So when you try to type in show DBs, so the MyDB database should be in the DB list. The database list. So the MyDB database is not empty anymore. It has a collection. So the MongoDB think the MyDB is okay to show. It's okay to show MyDB information in the list. So there's another way to create a collection, but this way is not good because we ignore, we skip the create collection step. So here, we don't have any collection in our database, but we just insert a document into the collection, to one collection. So here, this is the command, db.list method. No collection is not a method, it's a collection name. So db.collectionname.insert, then we insert a document. The list method skip a step to create a collection, just insert a document into that collection. So it's automatically generate a collection for that document. So in our sample, we can see right now we only have one collection, my collection here, and we want to create a collection, no collection to save our document. Once it's done, MongoDB writes the document into that collection, and we want to show how many collections do we have. Now we have 2 collections. So this method could skip the create collection step, but it's not a good idea, because if you do that step, you will won't remember the collection name. You will make some duplicate errors there. So make sure you don't. Sometimes please don't use this method, because it's not a good idea to manage your database or manage your collections. So here, when you create a collection, you may want to delete a collection, because sometimes the collection is useless, or there's some useless document in the collection. So you can follow this method. So drop a collection, the command should be the db.collectionname.drop. So here, right now in our sample, we have my DB database. And in my DB database, we have 2 collections here. And so we want to drop a collection, no collection, because it's useless. We just do it as our test. And we type in this command. If the screen shows the true, the command shows the true means the process is done. And when we show the collections again, the no collection, this kind of collection will be removed from our database. So the data in this no collection will be removed either. So you cannot find any data. Also, you can create a database. You can create a collection. You still can delete a collection, and you can delete a database. So this command db.drop database could help you to delete a database. So if you want to delete a database, make sure you select the database. So for your MongoDB database, maybe there are many databases there, many collections there. So when you try to use drop database, make sure you select the correct database, because sometimes you go to the wrong database and you will delete it, so you cannot get it back. So here for our sample, we have one database here, MyDB database, and we just select this database, use command. So we use MyDB, so we select this database, MyDB database, and we want to drop it. So just type in db.drop database. So this command don't have any parameters to specify what database we are going to delete. So make sure you select the correct database in your MongoDB. So db.drop database. So the MongoDB command will show the information and the drop the MyDB database in your MongoDB. So here, when you check the database list again, you cannot find the MongoDB, MyDB database there. So for this drop method, you should pay attention to them, because when you drop it, you delete the information, delete the data from the MongoDB. So here, if you drop a collection, the database is still there. So it means this database, MyDB, is still there, but the document in that collection is removed from MongoDB. So you cannot get it back. And other collections don't have any, and so the remove method won't affect other collections in the same database. So for the drop database, that's that should be a very dangerous action there. So if you drop a database, it means the included collections and data will be dropped either. You cannot find any information in that database because you drop all of them. So when you try to use drop method, please make sure you understand what you are going to drop. So you want to drop a collection, so you use the drop collection method. You want to drop a database, so you use the drop database method. Don't use them in wrong place. Like you want to drop a collection, but you type in drop database, so it will drop anything from the database, and you cannot get them back. So here we already know how to create a collection, how to create a database. So then we want to insert a document. That's the basic way to get insert document into the collection. So here, this is a sample. We want to insert a document with a defined ID. So here, this is the command, db.collectionname.insert. So the document should be the JSON schema document. Here, this is the sample. So db.mycollection.insert. We want to insert this document into our mycollection collection. So here, we have ID. So ID, we define the ID, the value for the ID. The value should be the integer 1. And we have the title, description, tag, and a number. So when we enter we press the enter button, the MongoDB will process the write action. And the MongoDB can insert this document into the my collection. So when we check the database, check the collection, we will find the document is already inserted into the collection. So here, we already defined our ID here. So I just show you a human readable schema here. So you can find that we have an ID for this document. It's very clear. But if we insert a document without a defined ID, that in our document, we don't define any value for the ID. We just define some other extra values for the key value pairs, other key value pairs, like title, description, tag, and number. We ignore the ID. So the MongoDB machine will automatically generate ID for you. So here, if you insert this, document, this kind of document into the MongoDB, then MongoDB will generate ID. It's a long string. That's a long object ID for the document. So make sure. So if you want to make a document clear, so if you want to make that you can remember the document, you can do a quick query about document. You have to define a unique ID for your document. Then you could do some quick search or quick query, because it's hard to remember the long ID which MongoDB generated for you. So if we have insert a document, enter a document into the collection. So we are going to update the document because we think the inserted document is not correct. So here in our sample, we have these four documents in the database, in the collection, and we want to update one document. So just follow this command line, db.collectionname.update. Here it has two parameters there. The first parameter is key value pairs to help the MongoDB to get the specified, the exact value, exact document. And the next parameter is going to help update the relative key value pairs there. So here, this is sample. So we just go to the sample to check what will happen if we type this command. So db.mycollection.update. So we are going to find a document whose ID is 1. And we want to set the new value for the title key value pairs. So we want to set a new value, update the title 1 for that title value. So if we finish this command and press the enter button, the MongoDB will finish this processing, and we can check the database and check the collection and find that the document whose ID is 1 is updated into a new value. The title is updated to a new value. So sometimes you want to use different matched value. Like you want to use title to find the exact document in your collection. It's good, but you should know you may have duplicate value in your duplicate document in your database, in your collection. Sometimes, like even though they have the different ID here, but they still have the same title value like title one here. So if you want to use title as the first parameter, you will update these two documents whose title values should be the same value here. So make sure you if you want to choose the first parameter, you should make sure this parameter has a unique value. So the easiest way to define this first parameter is going to use the ID, because in MongoDB, ID is the unique value for everyone. So there's another way to update a document. So it's not update, it's going to replace an old document with the new one. So sometimes you insert a very simple document, but you think that document is not good enough. You want to insert a more complicated document. So it seems like the document is more complicated and it has more key value pairs, or it has a complicated structure. So you don't want to don't want to use update to update each key value pairs there. So you want to replace one document, replace that document. So this method, save method, could help you do that. db.collectionname.save, and what document you are going to update.
Okay, so let's take a pause. Let's take a pause. Okay, so people, you're quiet on the chat. Who's following along? Who's having trouble? Okay. So we've got Gobi Kumar. Is Gobi your first name, or is Gobi Kumar your full name? Mr. Gobi Kumar. Okay. Gobil. Good. Okay. Oh, David. Okay, we'll come back to that. So Gobil, thank you for your comment. Okay, so the term document, I understood that MongoDB works with the document, but can you help me understand, how do we create this document in the first place? Is that something which is available straight out of the application, which can be fed into MongoDB, or data needs to be cooked in the document format before it can be fed into MongoDB? And it is, Gobil, it is Mongo, M-O-N-G-O, instead of the fruit. Though I love the fruit. So can you answer that question?
Okay, so let's go back to the insert document. Here, this is one way. It's the one way to insert a document into the MongoDB. You can see we just follow the JSON schema, and it's a document. So we use the braces to show that a document. It is a document. So while you check this picture, you can find that's a simple document for that. So for your second question, can we fit it into MongoDB, or data need to be cooked? Okay, so MongoDB can support different kind of schema. Even though it supports the even though it supports the JSON schema, but you can use it can recognize different format for the document. Like you can load the text data into the MongoDB. It can build a JSON schema for that. So it will be the future topic about MongoDB, it seems like.
Okay, Gobil, does that make sense to you? Let's assume it does. So David, tell us where you got lost. All right, first of all, are you on the link where you can type things into the command line? Yeah, I think slowing down a bit is, especially when you're trying to type and watch a chat and watch the slides at the same time. I can see where that can be confusing. So David, have you been able to get to the command line interface on the link that I shared on the chat? You guys aren't so responsive here. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit. Hi, who is this? Is this David?
Yeah.
Hi, David.
Hi. Sorry, I have it's unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, I can click and see now.
Okay, so good. So you're on the command line. So, okay.
Yeah, I didn't saw that. That's the reason why I kind of get lost because you know, I don't see the interactive mode. So
Yeah, so make sure if you can hold on to this screen for a little bit. So can people using this screen, they should be able to just do the insertion. Do they need to do the creation of the My Collection first, in order to do the insertion here that you're showing?
Okay. So first, this is a command line data collection database. So everyone can go to iBox to download these slides because maybe you cannot follow this video.
Can you go to the box with your shared screen and show them where it is?
Okay, let's go to the box.
Okay.
So here, this is our box here. So go to the section 4. I already posted the slides on this folder. Go there, and you can see the introduction to MongoDB 2.
yeah, yes, I can see that.
Okay, so what you might want to do, is actually make these numbers align with the unit numbers, because otherwise people have to go back to the beginning of the semester to figure out what the numbers mean, just in your naming.
So
Yeah, because you're putting you're just numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe if you align them with the numbers of the units, they'll be easier for people to find later.
I will change it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but MongoDB supports it's a Bison, which is a form of JSON as its internal format.
So MongoDB just support JSON format, but
I thought it was their own JSON though, their own JSON format. Does anybody know out there?
no, I don't know. It's first time I use MongoDB.
Yeah, it's their own form of JSON, I thought, but again, you probably knows.
So yeah, MongoDB just support the JSON format, and it has some other function to help load different kind of format, like text something, Excel something.
It's called BSON, BSON, but it is JSON.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions from those we're not hearing from? Deepika, we're not hearing from you. Jason, Robert, Tim, you guys following this? I know it's fast. Adam, Bruce. Are you out there or are you eating dinner? Which sounds pretty good to me, but
it's about time.
I'm following it.
It is about time. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Robert's quiet in the library, can't talk. Okay, that's fine. Chat's fine. And someone else said something? Okay, so Deepika, good. Okay, Deepika's following it. Good, glad to hear. Other people, let's hear from you on chat.
So from
Tim,
database, you go to the document. No, you go to collection, and collection, you go to document.
And who's speaking?
It's David.
Okay, say your question again. Okay, Adam, good to hear from you. Yi, good to hear. Tim.
Yeah, so first you create a database, and then from there you go create a collection, and then collection you go to document.
You? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, answer. I was passing David's question off to you.
Okay, so David, can you see again?
Yeah, I see. I mean, I just try to recap what you have covered so far. I want to understand the key concept that first, we create a database.
Yeah.
And then we create a collection.
Yes.
And then we create a document.
Yeah, we insert a document.
Insert document.
Yeah.
So document is like a record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so hey, this is a good sync up. So why don't you plug ahead? It looks like we're pretty much following along. Do slow down though a little bit. You're talking at quite the pace.
Okay.
Okay.
So we finish insert here. Update. Okay. So here we already know how to insert a document, how to create a collection and a database. So we want to remove a document from the collection. So this is the command: db.collectionname.remove. This method requires two parameters. One is deleting criteria, and one is just one. So for this first criteria, so it's the document will be removed if they satisfy the criteria, like if they satisfy the key value pairs, I mean the parameter, they will be removed from the document, removed from the collection. And just one. So if this parameter is set to be 2 or to be 1, so it means the method will only remove one document, the first document. So let's go to some sample here. So right now we have 4 documents in our collections. So they all have a title there, and MongoDB define an ID for these 4 documents. So here we want to remove a document whose title value is 1. So here when we go back to our collection, we find there are 2 documents that has a value 1 for the title. So if we process this command in MongoDB, we will get the result that the MongoDB removed 2 documents because there are 2 documents matched the requirement, the first parameter, like their title's value are 1. So here, when we go back to our document, go back to our collections, we find the document whose title's value is 1 will be removed. So it will. So if we go to our, remove method, if we don't define just one method, it will remove all document. Here we don't define any value for the just one parameter, so it will remove all satisfied document from the collection. So here, if we define true for the just one parameter. So it means we just want the MongoDB to remove the first one document, the first one who satisfies the criteria. So here right now we have 4 documents here. So each document has a title and a tag. So here, so first the 2 documents, they have the same title, but they have different tag values. So now we want MongoDB to delete a document whose title value is 1, and we just want to delete the top one whose title value is 1. So when we run this command line, so we will get a result that MongoDB will delete a document whose title is 1. So here, so the MongoDB here, we see the document whose title is 1 and the tag is 2 still keep in the collection. It means we just want the document to delete one document. We just want MongoDB to delete one document, the first one document from the collection. So make sure if you want to delete something, you should know you have to define something. Define 1 or not. Because if you just want to delete the first satisfied document, so you have to define true value for just one parameter. Otherwise, you will delete most of these satisfied document from the collection. So so let's go to the query part. This is very important part in the MongoDB. Like you can do some query stuff, like you can search the document. So before you do the query method, you should select the correct database. In your MongoDB, you may have many databases there, And in each database, you may have different collections. So make sure you go to the right database, and you just use the use command to select the right database, and check the collection list. Then you can follow this command, db.collectionname.find. So this method will show you all documents in that collection, not only part of it, just all of these documents. So it means if there are thousands of documents in your collection, so this find method will show them in the screen. So sometimes, you just use the find method and you want to, and some documents are not human readable because there are a lot of information there and it's very long for human to read it in one line. So you can add this pretty method at the end of the find method. Just follow the logic, like you find something, then you want to show it clear. So here, if you type this command on your screen, on command line, you will find db.collection.find. You will find that it's hard to read, but if you follow this command, you will see that's a human readable document. Like you can easily find the key value pairs here, like ID and its value, title, its value, and something like that. So it's not in one line, so it's like line by line to read different information. So as I said, that if there are thousands of documents in the collection, you don't want to list all of them. You want to check one for sample. So you just type in find one method, db.collectionname.find1. So the MongoDB will just show you one document, one sample document, the top one document in the screen. So here, I have 4 documents here. So if I use find method, the MongoDB will show all this stuff on screen. So now if I just type the find one method, use the find one method, so the screen just, the MongoDB just show me the one document. So you just check that document to get some knowledge about the schema, about the content. So here, we know we can use find method to list all documents here. So how can we find the documents with specified values? So the find methods could do this action for us. Like right now, so we just use find method to find all documents here. So, but we have some, requirement about the document. So we want to find some document whose title is 2. So we just type in here. We just write key value pairs here to make sure to write criteria here. Make sure this criteria is like object is like key value pairs. So here, if we follow this command, we can find the document whose title is 2 will be listed on the screen. It works as the select method in my SQL. Like first you select a collection, then you apply a condition for that query method. So that's the same thing. So here, when we know how to find some specified document in the collection, so we want to show you how to show a list number of document in it. So same thing, if we want to use find method, even though we use find method with the criteria, so maybe the MongoDB will show 1,000 of satisfied document in the screen, and of course you don't want to review all of them, but you just want to show some of it as for some So you just type in here, just add the limit method on the screen. The number should be the limit number of the document will be shown on the screen. Here, for this command, db.collection.find, that's the logic. First, you find something, then you want to show a limit numbers of document in the screen. So here, so we just follow this command, db.mycollection.find.limit3. So if we ignore the limit method on the MongoDB, so just use my find method, it will show about 6 documents in here. So in the real database, in the real world database, it will show all these documents, thousands of documents there. But if you specifies that we just want to show 3 documents on screen. So here, it will show the top 3 documents on screen. You can view it and you can find the schema, you can find the content of key value pairs there. So so there's another function could help to support the find method, that's the sort. So you want to sort some documents in some order, like ascending or descending there. So db.collection.find then apply the sort method on this function. We could do this sort performance. So here, you should remember that the parameters are follow the JSON schema and follow the key value pairs. So in MongoDB functions, there's no single value. Just a single value for this parameter. Like you cannot put 1 or something in it. So you should follow the schema. Make sure the MongoDB can recognize it. Like here. So this is our sample. We have 6 documents in it. So we want to sort document with the title for descending order. So here, first we will find all document, right? Find all document. So if we ignore the last 2 methods, so the MongoDB will show us 6 documents. Then we want to sort the document with the title for the descending order. So then we get that order, and then we want to show the only 3 documents.
There is a question. Helen has a question.
Okay.
And unlike the other section, and I should point out to this section that the other section has people answering each other's questions. This one is a quiet group. There's very few questions, and nobody's really kind of weighing in. So it may be that some of you just don't have the MongoDB experience, which is fine. But in the other section, we did have some of that expertise. But you would take a look. We do have a few questions that are coming along. The one is from Robert. Can we also recuperate bring back a deleted doc? And then Helen says, is it possible to find a second out of 2 documents with title equals 1? So can you take a pause and answer those?
Okay, for the last question, Helen. So the possible to find a second out of 2 documents. Yes, they can, because in the MongoDB schema, you can insert duplicate values there, and these duplicate values has a unique ID. So if they have the same value of the title equal to 1, it's possible. And so in the MongoDB, if you sort a document in order, like you sort document 1 by 1, and then the MongoDB will process the document in that order. Like in that order. So it means like MongoDB is just a machine. It can only show the document satisfies the requirement, and it cannot do any mining or learning stuff for that. So just to show the satisfied document on the screen.
Let me just answer Jason's question. Who's Jason? You're asking a really good question. I'd like to point out that NoSQL stores are I would say the primary topic in this course. So we spend a good bit of time talking about NoSQL stores and what they are and where they come out of and what some of the foundational ideas in them are, so that you get a better idea. We have a lesson that's dedicated to looking at the same data set manifest in a relational database, MongoDB. We use a column store. We use a graph database form. So we really put a lot of attention into pointing out the differences there. But your question is slightly different. You say, I come from an extremely well-structured relational database world. What I'm trying to wrap my head around is how to keep a database like this from getting extremely messy. And, then you have basic notions. You have, first of all, you're right. It's not a structured database. So you lose some of the capability that you get in a structured database. However, you get a scalability that there's no way a relational database is going to give you. The notions you have are databases and collections, and then documents within those collections. So it does take a certain amount of organization of content to keep things from being a big, swamp of unrelated documents. So again, let's keep talking about this, but you raise a really good question. Go ahead, you.
Okay. So here, someone asked, can we?
You know what? I should point out we're out of time.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't have enough time to discuss that whole question in class.
That's okay. So we can look at revisiting the rest of this next week, or you can just share the slides and people can look at the slides.
So in last, for students, I talked with the students. So in last discussion class, I give you some links for the MongoDB tutorial to give very clear samples about how to use MongoDB, how does that work, how does MongoDB manage the JSON or JSON schema. So if you have time, you can go there to give a quick review about that. It can help you a lot about the MongoDB, because we don't have enough time to discuss all content about MongoDB. So maybe students will confuse about our discussion content. So I hope you can go to the MongoDB tutorial, and I think this tutorial could help you a lot about how to use MongoDB. So yeah.
Okay, so I think, do people have any more questions? If not, we're going to call this one a close.
Is it, I use Xbase. I wonder if MongoDB is similar to Xbase or Cassandra in some sense.
They're all considered NoSQL stores, but they're inherently different. We have a whole lesson that's dedicated to that. So can you hold that question?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, because we'll be getting into that in quite a bit of detail in the course. Well, great. Hey, it was fun. The first group's video or chat going to be posted where we can see it? I think it's posted, but does the chat get taped also, you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just, and this is a fairly small group. If we continue to have small groups, maybe, we may look at combining them instead of keeping them separate. I think the class is big, but the attendance on this, on these sessions is not as big. So I think everybody here would benefit from being in a single group as opposed to separate groups. But we'll keep watching it. We'll give it one more time, and then we'll decide what to do. Okay, so Jason. Okay, I was supposed to be in the first group, but I had a life interruption. Yeah, life does get in the way. All right, speaking of life, why don't you go back to life, and we'll see you all next week.
So everyone, if you have any questions about MongoDB, you can post the questions on the Piazza so we can answer your questions.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.